Before Wednesday, July 27th slate of MLB action. I'm super excited to dive into it. We do have a fantastic slate on once again, and we do actually have some more day games. I know that today, or as of yesterday, excuse me, we did only have the the Cubs and the Pirates game, but other than that, we really didn't have any day games whatsoever. So I am really excited to dive into it. But before we did, I did just want to go ahead and say that we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. We're like less than 340 subscribers away from that 7,000 mark, so I would love to be able to hit that by the NBA season. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. You guys have been showing a lot of support here recently, so I do got to give my thanks out for that. You guys have been great. I've been gaining a lot of subscribers, so thank you guys for everything that you guys do. But I did also want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do, and thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance. As I always say, it truly does mean the absolute world to me, way more than you guys will ever know. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and do a quick recap as of yesterday. Not necessarily a great day. We've had two back-to-back 1 and 2 days, and today's the day we're going to turn it around. I put some units on some absolute wagons, some absolute guys that I don't think are going to let us down. So, but before we did, we'll do a quick recap like always. We did have the Marlins and the Reds under 4.5 in the first 5. They didn't even hit the over 4.5 in the entire game. So that was an absolute no sweat. That one ended up working out for us very easily. Now, we did end up having the Yankees and the Mets nerfy. There was so many runs in the first inning. I think there was like 6 runs in the first inning. It was an absolute crapshoot. I thought that was a good bet, but then I think Aaron Judge ended up hitting a home run and Rizzo both for the Yankees, and the Mets scored like 4 runs. So it is what it is. Taijuan Walker was absolutely just throwing absolute meatballs out there that he wanted them to hit home runs. Like it was crazy. But then we did also have the Blue Jays run line in the first 5 versus St. Louis. This one was such a tough beat, and the reason it was so tough was because the Blue Jays, they started off red hot. They started off the game 3-0. So they started off the game absolutely red hot. And then came the Cardinals. And the Cardinals, they started to get hits, and they actually tied it up through 5 innings. So they literally ended up losing just because it was tied. The Blue Jays scored 3 runs in the first inning and didn't score any more in the first 5. So very, very tough beat. But it is what it is. We ended up going 1 and 2 on the day. I'm feeling really good about today's play. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Our first play of the day, we're going to be taking the Padres first 5 money line here versus Detroit at minus 129 odds. If you want to take the run line of the first 5, I really like this play as well. It is plus value though, so just be a little bit careful with it, but I love the money line here just in case if it is a tie. So San Diego, they are 43, 32, and 23 to the first 5, so they've been really good here in the first 5. There's no doubt about it. And they are 23, 14, and 15 to the money line in the first 5 on the road. Been tremendous on the road, been tremendous in the first 5. I think we see a ton of value. Detroit, on the flip side of things, one of the worst teams to the first 5. They are 28, 53, and 16. They've been really, really bad in the first 5, and so I'm going to be hammering this one for sure. Yu Darvish has been absolutely fantastic. His first 5 record is 13, 2, and 3. The second most profitable pitcher in the first 5 in the entire MLB. Oh, not to mention, Yu Darvish also has a 3.28 ERA. Dude has been really solid. He's a very good strikeout pitcher, so hopefully he can come through for us in those first 5 innings. And Skubal's going to be on the mound here for Detroit. Now, Skubal hasn't necessarily been terrible. He has a 3.88 ERA over the course of the season, a 4.33 ERA at home this year, and a 4.61 ERA in his last 5 games. He hasn't been bad whatsoever. But to the first 5, he's the 7th least profitable pitcher in the entire MLB to that first 5 money line. So that's where I think we see a ton of value. Darvish, second most profitable pitcher in the first 5 innings. Skubal, 7th least profitable pitcher in the first 5. So Yu Darvish has been so much better in the first 5, so we're going to be riding with it. And if you want even more to back it up, San Diego's 18th when it comes to runs per game. They're kind of in that middle echelon there. Detroit's dead last. So Detroit does not score a lot of runs, and San Diego doesn't necessarily score a ton of runs, but they do score more than the Tigers do. And when it comes to runs allowed on the defensive side of things, San Diego is really good. They're 9th when it comes to runs allowed. Detroit, they're kind of closer to the lower echelon. They're at 19th when it comes to runs allowed. So not only is San Diego a better offense, they're a better defense. I think they have a better pitcher on the mound. They've been better to the first 5. There's absolutely no reason for this. We're going to be locking it in. That's going to be our first play of the day. Padres first 5 money line here versus Detroit at minus 129 odds. Now for our second play of the day, we're going to be taking the Twins and the Brewers no-run first inning at minus 120 odds. Now, if you take a look at it, both these offenses have been great in the first inning. There's no doubt about it. They have been Yerfy Kings, truly. Minnesota is 2nd when it comes to first inning runs per game. Milwaukee's 9th. So, my question is, why is it juiced to the under? Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, and I think that this is really good line reading as well. Minnesota is also tied when it comes to 8th fewest first inning runs per game at 0.45 runs per game, or runs per game in the first inning, and Milwaukee's 11th. So they don't really give up a ton of runs in the first inning. So Minnesota gives up the 8th fewest, and Milwaukee gives up the 11th fewest. So I think that that's a pretty good margin to target there. And both these offenses are kind of in the middle echelon. Minnesota is 11th when it comes to runs per game. Milwaukee's 13th. So like I said, kind of in that middle echelon. They're not necessarily top-tier offenses. They're not necessarily bad offenses. They're literally just right in the middle. Corbin Burns here on the mound here for Milwaukee. He's been an absolute ace all year. There's no way around that. He's been great. He has a 2.20 ERA over the course of the season, 2.79 at home, and a 1.91 in his last 5. He's been fantastic. I think that Corbin Burns is definitely going to be getting it done for us. And on the flip side of the mound, Chris Archer for Minnesota is also going to be on the mound with a 3.41 ERA over the course of the season, a 2.7 road ERA, and a 2.91 ERA in his last 5. So he has been trending in that right direction, and he pitches even better on the road. So I love to target this one. I think that that's a really good spot here for Chris Archer on the road and Corbin Burns at home. Both of them do play really well in those respective places. Now, the over-under is also set to 8. Very low over-under. They don't expect a lot of runs to be scored in this game, and I don't expect any in the first inning. So that's going to be our second play of the day. Twins and Brewers, no-run first inning at minus 120 odds. Now, for our third and final play of the day, we're going to be taking the Giants money line here versus Arizona at minus 120 odds. Now, I know one of the games is still currently going on, the Giants and the Arizona game 2, but Arizona is actually winning by a pretty big margin, so I'm going to assume that Arizona is going to win this game. So, why am I taking this play? Well, the main reason I'm taking it is because the Giants are going to have to turn it around at some point. I don't think they can keep playing this bad. They ended up losing I think it was 7 I don't know. They lost pretty bad in game 1 of this series. Now they're losing in game 2. I think that they do have to have a bounce back, and that's the only reason that they would be favored in this spot. Giants are 5th when it comes to runs per game. Arizona is 20th. So Giants are a much better offense from a statistical standpoint. San Francisco is also 18th when it comes to runs allowed. Not great, not terrible. Arizona is 23rd. They're kind of pushing towards that lower echelon of teams when it comes to runs allowed. And Logan Webb's going to be on the mound here for the Giants. He has a 9-3 record with a 2.77 ERA over the course of the season. He has a 1.97 in his last 5 games. And he has a 0.0 ERA through 6 innings versus Arizona. So he's been really good against Arizona. He's trending in the right direction, and he's been really good over the course of the season just in general. Now, Zach Gallen is going to be on the mound for the Diamondbacks. He hasn't been terrible. He really hasn't. He hasn't been bad. He has a 3.31 ERA over the course of the season, 3.36 at home, and 4.55 over his last 5 games. He's been solid, no doubt about it. But I do think that Logan Webb is just a little bit better. He's 9-3. He's been really solid. And San Francisco, and if it does end up coming to the bullpen, I'm perfectly fine with that because San Francisco has the 5th worst bullpen in the ERA. in the entire MLB, and Arizona has the 7th. So it's not like they're super far off. Both these teams are very close when it comes to bullpen ERA. They're both not very good. So hopefully Giants can take care of business early and just coast through the rest of the game. So that is going to be our third and final play of the day. Giants money line here versus Arizona at -120 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Peace.